Welcome to Rebel Base Podcast number 12. Woo! I'm
technically
Sarah.
not 12.
Oh.
I mean by hands.
Oh, okay. I got nervous. I was like, oh shit, girl.
No, technically this is 3, but this is the stand for 1, 2, 12.
So I'm SarahTheRebel.
And I'm OhCatrina.
And if you're new to the podcast, this is our comics and video game and geekery podcast where we talk about stuff like diversity and feminism and cool geeky shit.
Cool geeky shit.
My neck cracked. I hope that.
I heard that.
You can't hear it. Like
I heard that. I don't know about you guys heard that.
I hope
But
when you rip the audio, there's not this crack. We were like, what was that? It's like, I farted.
That's not worse. That's worse than your
No, that's way better. I was like,
cracking.
No, that's way better. So today our topic is the awesome and potentially not awesome roles for women in geeky movies that are coming up. So in case you're new again, the way we do this is we tell you some news, then we get to our main topic, and then we give you our chick picks. And this time, don't let us forget we have some new things to tell you about the podcast going forward. Thank you, Vanna White.
Hey, my dad's in here. So, first piece of news.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I was playing Dragon Age Inquisition, which, P.S., highly recommend the game. It's great. I love it. I'm going to turn the volume all the way off because you guys might be able to listen to that little squeaky noise happening every 3 seconds, but it's driving me nuts. We'll figure something out about that in the future. So I was playing Dragon Age Inquisition, which I highly recommend, and I run across this character named Krem. And Krem, for all extents and purposes, looks like a male character. But when Krem speaks, Krem has a woman voice. A low woman's voice, but it was definitely a woman's voice to me. So I was like, wait, guys, is this a trans character? And people on my stream are like, what? What are you talking about? I mean, I don't see anything different about her. And I'm like, I feel like this is a trans character. I feel like Krem is a guy name. She's dressed like a guy. Her voice is female. No one's referring to her as a her or a him. I think this is a trans character. And BioWare isn't even saying anything, like isn't making a big deal out of it or anything. It wasn't a big deal. Moved on. There were other cool things in the game, but I was just extremely happy to see that. Well, eventually, I come back, and I'm talking to her boss, who's Iron Bull, one of your companions, and you get to meet the whole squad. And one of the questions you can ask, it's actually a few, you can say, are you a woman? Are you not a man? Or, when did you know? And so, of course, since I'm like, clearly I was right this whole time, guys. High five, Sarah, who can spot trans characters in video games like you don't know what. Let's talk about Ashley for Mass Effect sometime. Anyway, I said, when did you know? And she talks about it briefly. She says she's always felt this way and that she is a he. So from then on, refer to Krem as he. And Iron Bull speaks up and he's like, he's the best warrior I have. And he is a he to me. Like, I know, like, guys who aren't even half as good as he is. And if in the Kun, like, this wouldn't even be a problem. If he was a Kunari, this wouldn't even be an issue for discussion. And I just thought it was really cool that you had the opportunity to have that conversation, that you had choices in how you handled that conversation as well, which I think is important. For someone who's not as familiar or as comfortable with the idea of trans people, Dragon Age could be a first step in asking questions that, you know, maybe would be super awkward to ask a human. So, kudos, BioWare.
Yay, BioWare. Mostly always doing the right thing. So kudos to them. They really do pay attention.
Yes.
And they have great ways of presenting things. The fact that, like, it's not a big deal. And, like, I watched a lot of those cutscenes. Like, I've watched a lot of cutscenes from Dragon Age, and many of them have included, like, allusions to sex, which is great. And yeah, seeing all the Krem cutscenes was really cool. I was really happy to see a real trans character.
Right. It was an enjoyable moment in video games, and I would love tons more.
More trans representation.
I was like, girl, you missed a syllable.
I missed a syllable there. Whoops. But yeah.
So the other interesting thing, of course, about Dragon Age Inquisition as far as diversity and inclusiveness goes is there are a ton of important black characters, both NPCs and you have Vivian in your actual party, and you always notice that there aren't black people in RPGs that take place in a fantasy setting, but it was really striking to see the opposite, to run into so many characters who were black in the game, honed in even more how rare it was. Like, why does this feel so shocking to me? Because I don't get to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. And then, of course, lesbian and gay characters and bisexual characters as well are all represented. And I really enjoy that there are some characters you can't romance based on your sex. Because that's something that gay people have to deal with all the time is, oh, here's this character in a game who I would want to romance, but I can't because they're straight. So I think it's only fair that straight people get to feel that too. Like, oh, I want a romance Dory and he's so cute. Oh, well, Dory don't swing that way. This is just how it is. And I think it's important to get that feeling and to see what it's like as well.
Absolutely.
To not be able to choose somebody that you like because, I'm sorry, that's not how the world works. So, video's been in and out, I'm being told. Well, that's awkward because,
Is anybody else but my dad getting that? Or... Because the only one that I saw was that I think Systems is on a slightly slower speed, or what was it, Piper's Speed? Somebody, but the scroll went up pretty fast, so I didn't really get to see. But yeah, if it's flickering, guys, let us know a little bit so that we can maybe do something about it.
And there might not be anything we can do about it because it is a holiday weekend and everybody's home using the internet, so it's possible that it's just some bullshit issues with Time Warner Cable.
Darn you 12-year-olds, get off of Twitch.
Get off of Twitch, you damn kids! Get off of my Twitch, you kids! Next news item.
Oh, yes, the next news item.
So, Ultron Forever? Was that the name of it?
Yep, there's a new Marvel comic series coming in their massive 2015 lineup. It's a universe, like a multiverse event, but it's being led by a sole team of Avengers, and then everybody else after that is going to come in, and it's called Ultron Forever, and they just uploaded the cover and some of the line art to it this past week, and it features female Thor, Rhodey as Iron Man, Black Widow, present-day Vision, vintage Vision, bearded Thor, and then Danielle Cage, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' daughter, as Captain America. And previously, we've only seen her as a little baby. Earth 616. I can't say it.
All these damn numbers.
That's a lot of words to say.
But it's really exciting to see, we just got a black Captain America, and now we're about to see a black female Captain America. So, hey, diversity, what's your name? Your name is Marvel. So that's
I feel
exciting.
so bad. I was raised on DC, and I'm just like, Marvel, you got it.
Marvel.
You got this thing going on.
They're killing it right now.
It's like I feel like it's like being a parent of or being a parent of a child, and then there's another child that's just like, damn, you're the best kid in the world. What's going on with you? I love you. I'm not gonna put you up for adoption, but this kid over here, he's getting names.
You say it like it's even an option. Mommy, don't worry, I'm not gonna put you up for adoption because how lame you are. But you should get your shit together, child, because you are this close.
Little Jenny over there has straight A's. What's wrong with you?
So that's actually how my brother talks to his kids about me. He's like, Sarah's actually my favorite. She's not even one of your kids. Raise the bar. She's the bar. Get to Sarah level, and I love you as much as I love Sarah. Glad it can be inspiration for your children. Shout out to my brother, Ant Dog. Yep, that's his name. Ant Dog. So, what else? We'll talk about this new couch in a moment. Don't let me forget.
Yes.
So what else I enjoy about it is this blend. Whenever you get a dream team together, where it's like, oh, we get Hulk from before he joined the Avengers, and we're getting old Thor, and we're getting future this, and we're getting present that. I think it's going to be a fun and interesting mix of personalities. And I think this is really a chance for comic writers, whenever they create a book like this, to play and have fun. And I think when a creator is having fun and doing something different is when we get the best stories.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like the number one reason I'm in a good mindset for episode 7, because it was just like, you can make up your own shit, or we have 30 years of literature for you to pull from. I don't care. Do a thing.
Yeah.
Here's money.
Do a thing.
Do a thing, nerds.
Do a thing, you damn nerds.
Yeah.
So something else in the news now is the Jurassic World trailer came out. So I work for Geek and Sundry, which is a subsidiary of Legendary, so I could get in trouble if I said anything negative about the movie.
But I can't. But I really have a lot to say in the negative way of it.
The only negative things I have to say are about the plot of the movie. That has nothing to do with Legendary.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything. But it's just like,
what the fuck are you doing?
Before,
Why are you making another Jurassic Park? It's 20 years in the future.
I mean, and then like that shit. Okay,
Wait, before I go into it, let's explain, because some
sorry.
people have said that before. We often assume that people know what we're talking about.
I'm sorry.
So in case you haven't seen it, the Jurassic World trailer has come out. It takes place 20 years in the future on the original island. They have finally succeeded in building Jurassic Park, and we are basically appear to be following the story of a few different people. One is Star-Lord, who has a posse of velociraptors. That's another story.
Burt Macklin. It's Burt Macklin.
Who's Burt Macklin?
Burt Macklin is the character that he plays on Parks and Rec, and Burt Macklin pretends to be an FBI agent all the time. So
this is his SWAT team?
This is
of
like
velociraptors?
his SWAT team.
I call him his SWAT team. Sounds like a SWAT. Call him
like
SWAT and like velociraptors
him.
come out.
They were and then that one looks at him like, all right, let's go.
He's part of their pack. And then a little boy.
He is a velociraptor.
He is. He's my velociraptor. Then there's a little boy whose mom's like, I'm so proud of you for doing this. And I'm just like, girl.
No, his mom says, if they chase after you, run. And she smiles. I'm just like,
ha ha ha, not that would ever happen in a dinosaur park. I'm so proud of you.
Remember, if you get chased down by zombies, your brother is edible.
Like, what? And then this one woman who, genius that she is, obviously a descendant of a relative of that original fucking genius from Jurassic Park. What was his name? Newman?
Newman? No, it wasn't Newman. That's who he played on Sci-Fi.
No. I don't... Gnarly, Nibbly, Nedley? Nedley? I think it was like Nedley. Anyway, the dude who gets the poison spit in his eyes. Okay, she's like, listen, we're learning so much about dinosaurs from this that we'd never know. Also, I made a hybrid. It's probably perfectly the same.
Whose idea? Like, who wakes up one day and is just like, I'm gonna put two dinosaurs together. Nothing will go wrong. They're already dealing with these okay, first off, the dinosaurs are like, they're like cats in a way. Like, they're just like, well, these humans are here, but they're not bothering me. So I'm not gonna bother them, but if they touch me, I swear to God.
There's this one scene where they dangle a shark over water. This giant comes up, he's like, ah! And I'm like, this is
SeaWorld style.
This is the moment where I have a problem with everyone involved in Jurassic Park. Hey, we learned a lot from our mistakes of the last time. We're gonna make Jurassic Park. We're gonna do it right. Do you know how you do it right? You only make dinosaurs that don't eat meat. Yep. How difficult is make all fucking herbivores? Why did you make that sea monster? Why did you make that pterodactyl? Why did you make velociraptors again? Why?
And you can breed these dinosaurs to be vegetarian. Like, it's not...
Apparently you could make a hybrid that murders with its saw hands. You should probably make a hybrid that thinks humans are the grossest shit ever and doesn't want to be near them. Really? Yeah. Why are we going back here? Why?
And apparently Chris Pratt has the same question.
Like, ma'am, I don't know what you're doing here, but I don't think it's a good idea. I'm sorry, that's my impression of his character.
Combining two dinosaurs?
I'm just a simple man, but even I can see that maybe we shouldn't do this dumb shit.
Oh, so other news, because my dad decided to tell me he got a signed autograph of this Star Trek cast member from my mother, and she liked it. So
that's not news.
It's news to me.
Thank God for the announcements.
Shoutouts to the signed autograph, signed photograph.
So our next bit of news then is the one that I'm delaying on actually saying out loud because Catrina is about to... I'm just going to keep delaying it until Catrina explodes. The Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer came out on Friday.
How many times have you watched it?
Twice. How many times have you watched it? I already know the answer, but go.
Like 175 times.
You were very excited about it. I'm very upset about it. So, you first, excitement.
No. Let's get the negative shit out of the way.
No. You're not the boss of me.
No. I have a billion things to say.
So, here are my concerns about the trailer.
Okay.
That trailer looked to me like they were not ready to release a trailer. The huge blank spots in between everything that was happening weren't just the normal, like, fade to black before each scene. They were actual, like, seconds of blackness in between every scene. The scenes that they showed also didn't seem very connected. It seemed like, hey, we just want to show you what's going on. So here's this fucking random ass droid who's different from every other droid you've seen, so that's why he's important. Okay, and we're showing that she is on this racer type thing, so you can see what sort of technology is happening here. And we're showing you this character because they're probably going to be important. But it felt extremely disjointed, like they just had to scrape together some stuff to appease hungry fans. And that personally makes me nervous when companies release a trailer or any sort of information like that before they're ready. And the trailer, as a teaser, did nothing for me. Like, it didn't get me excited. It didn't give me any clue as to what was going on. To me, it felt really cruddy.
So to take that back to Jurassic World's teaser trailer, which was a shaking cup, I don't know what to say against it. Like, as far as it being a teaser, like, it was a teaser. This is supposed to be a teaser like what Jurassic World gave us, which is no shade on Jurassic World in my eyes, because just that shaking cup was enough to, like, kick the nostalgia into high gear and go, like, it's coming. Like,
but that told a story to me. The shaking cup told a story.
A dinosaur is coming.
Some dinosaurs are coming. I didn't have a story at all from this teaser.
Have you seen, like, the 1970s Star Wars teasers?
No. Why would I? I'm not from the 70s.
Okay, I've watched the 1970s Star Wars trailers. So
you haven't gotten any better from the 70s?
No, I've gotten much better. Well, I mean, for the 70s, I guess they were really exciting. I mean, I didn't go to movies in 1977, so I don't know what getting hyped for a movie was like back then.
Let's ask an old person.
Hey, Dad, what was it like? Not that you're an old person, but what was it like? So for me, the trailer was everything I've expected from it. All of the rumors I heard were it's just going to be a bunch of different shots of scenery and characters, and that's all they're going to give you, because it's a fucking year away. But it was, I mean, like, it was an early teaser. The movie is in no way ready. Like, John Williams is still, like, getting the score done. Mm-hmm. And so, like, on the 15th of November, he went and he recorded the score just for the trailer. So I think what they did was just, they wanted to release it to show off the new main trio. Mm-hmm. And that was it. And they were just like, here's the new people, here's their droid. See you later.
Right.
That's all you get for the next, like, 6 months.
So is that droid going to be important to the story? Yes. So he's like their version of R2-D2.
Yeah, and okay. he's just cuter and tinier. But he also comes with a bunch of weapons that shoot out of him.
Why is he suckable?
Huh? I don't know why they decided on that. It's kind of weird because he looks like R2-D2 and Eve from WALL-E, like their baby. Uh-huh. Like, I was like, that's how it happened.
The way you said it was what made that really big. He looks like, these just their baby.
He looks like their baby.
A baby.
But it's like, I mean, actually the reaction of the droid was like, even from, like, all the naysayers, it was just like, that's stupid, that's dumb, but it's real cute, so I'll let it pass.
I saw a picture of, like, Baymax chasing him and accidentally kicking him.
I saw it too, it was so cute. So I was really excited about the Star Wars trailer, because there were no white men in it.
That was an exciting thing. I'm not going to hate completely on Star Wars, the new Star Wars thing. It's just, I'm, of course, a cautious person when it comes to movies. So to me, that trailer seemed disjointed. Mm-hmm. And then, as a lot of people are pointing out, we've been fooled once before.
We have been fooled once before.
The trailers for the prequels looked great.
Oh, yeah.
And they brought that nostalgia back. We're like, oh my god, it's about to be on like Donkey Kong. Mm-hmm. Which is what this did too, so.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, my perspective is much different from yours because it's been my job to just find every tiny detail of these trailers.
Like, the fact that you knew a little bit about it beforehand definitely, is
yeah,
something.
And, like, I know more about the characters than a lot of people do, like, but I was satisfied with it. Like, I got what I was told I would get. The shots of the main characters. Boom, done. Like, and I feel like if they put Han and Leia and Luke in this trailer, it would just ruin, like, their returns.
Right.
Like, you gotta keep that shit in the movie. Like, if we see any of them, it'll probably be, like, Luke's cloak trailing on the ground or whatever the fuck he's doing right now. But, like, not even a full... I assume...
So
being a Jedi,
Aaron pointed this out the other day. We watched Blackula. Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned that we watched Blackula on another stream. Mm-hmm. But Blackula is very confusing because he also has that one shoulder cape thing that Lando Calrissian had, and so now we're wondering, and Lando Calrissian also had that soft wavy hair, so now we're wondering if the only difference between Lando Calrissian and Blackula is the color of their cape, and it might be the only difference. In fact, Lando Calrissian may have been modeled after Blackula. There's a cat in the screen.
There's a cat in the
He's
shot.
totally stealing the show.
So there are cats here. This is the one you'll probably see the most. This is Bailey, and
He's
I'm
very
sure
stupid.
he's been around Sarah's other streams as well. So yes, I have a lot of thoughts on Star Wars that might actually go a little better with the main topic.
Okay.
But are we sticking strictly to comics, or should I just say it right now? Like,
let's put it in the main topic just because, you know.
because I mean, a lot of it has to do with like women, because it went from like there are 2 women in this film to like there are like 50 chicks in this film, and like one of them is white.
Right, which is exciting.
So, it's exciting. So the last thing I'll say about this trailer is just that shot of, I mean, for me, someone who is like half Latino, seeing Oscar Isaacs in that fucking X-Wing was just like, oh my god, they put
Oh my god, I heard
they
that.
put a Latino in an X-Wing.
Ay, Dios mío! It's the Latino in el...
They put him in an X-Wing. Look at him. I bet his
Exactly.
mother is so proud. Like,
I'm gonna have to go through the entire alphabet to get you X in Spanish, so I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y,
yes.
Z. So X.
Mm-hmm.
X is X.
Yay!
There you go. Somebody write it down.
So, yes, overall, I would give this trailer like an 8 out of 10, just because I feel like it was a little early. But I think it was just like to appease the fans.
Right.
I'm just kind of like, this is what you'll see in a year. Bye.
Bye.
You're not going to see anything
darkness.
more ever again until maybe the Avengers. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
So it's still very exciting and good to see that the cast has a lot of diversity. We'll talk more about the trailer again and the movie overall in the main topic.
Mhm.
And so the last bit of news, unless Catrina has thought of anything we've forgotten, is that we're going to be doing some changes to Rebel Base. Catrina now lives down the street from me.
Yay!
So we can go back to doing this on a weekday. We both want to do Rebel Base on a weekday night because we would like Saturdays free to do whatever we want. You know, if she has to cover a festival or if I want to like go visit somebody in another city, we want that freedom.
Mhm.
So we will inform you via the Twitter when we pick another day that we're going to put the show on. So
But it
be on the
will
lookout
not
for
be
that.
on a Tuesday.
It won't be on a Tuesday because almost
Dang it.
everything important happens on Tuesdays. Plus
I don't
we
know
have
why.
an RPG to play.
Yeah, we have an RPG on
And we
on
would never
Tuesday,
let those
so.
streams cross. Ever.
So yeah, stay tuned for that. We're also going to try and do a lot more interactive stuff. So as we announce it, you guys are our viewers, and we need you to help power through and like just RT what you see us talk about, tell your friends, and get more people going, because we want to start playing trivia games with you guys and do a question and answer thing, which actually I put out a question before the podcast. May I see your phone? And I asked you guys, in tune with the new Star Wars trailer, I asked you what side of the Force you think Sarah and I would be on.
This is way too easy.
So, I mean, and this was hilarious, because you have, like, the overwhelming response.
I
Like,
hope so.
everyone said you are 100% Sith.
Yes.
Sith all the way.
Correct.
And everyone was like, you're on the light side to me. And then they're like, a lot of them were like, you look like you're on the light side, but you're gonna have difficulties.
You're gonna be like the Ayla Secura or one of those who's like a little tempted by the dark side.
Gray area.
Maybe dives in. No, I'm a 100% Sith. So I actually have a long history with being a Sith. When the prequels came out, I dressed in all black and I brought a red lightsaber to the premiere and the midnight showing, which we all got to super early. And I got into a bunch of lightsaber battles with people, and like they were so excited to see me. They were like, "Oh my god, a hot Sith geeky girl!"
I can't wait for the new premieres just so we can dress up and have lightsaber battles.
And then we can have those battles. We can
I mean, we can have those battles right now.
here. We can move this chair back and
We can have-
go to town.
We can have a lightsaber.
I have a lightsaber. My brother built me one.
I don't have a lightsaber with me.
Guys, have I
Shane.
showed you my lightsaber? Okay, so while we're continuing this discussion, the second thing is my brother, who considers me his real child, sent me a picture of a little girl where the Darth Vader was like, "Will you join me?" And she got down on her knees to join him.
Oh
and like,
my God.
And he was like, "Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying you're gonna be part of the dark side." And she's like, "Mm-hmm." Yes. like swears to him, like signs herself up for the dark side. So this is what my brother made me. It is my very own lightsaber. Unfortunately, we haven't developed the technology for an actual blade yet. But
we just need to get those two
I can
blades.
still hit people
We gotta
with it. It's
we
really
gotta go
heavy.
get those nice like Force Effects lightsabers by the time the premiere comes around. But it would be.
Katrina would own a bar.
I like that. You know what? I would be like Bea Arthur in the Star Wars.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're more like not a Force user at all. I think
I'm a Han
you're more like a Han Solo. Yeah.
I'm just a Han. That's how I've always kind of sided to. But yeah, like that said, I used to dress up a lot. I was a Sith one year. I was a Jedi another year. I was some shit.
Some other shit.
I don't know. I want to try and I want to try
in the bar.
Yep. And so I kind of want to be a Twilight next time around. That would be
I used
sick
to want
as
to be a
hell.
Twilight when I was little. So
I found a
bad.
tutorial on how to make the
Yeah?
ears that are not. It's not super hard. So I was thinking
I want
about
to be
it.
the red one with all the tattoos from that comic series. Whose
I wanna
name
be
I've
Hera.
just conveniently forgotten, but she's red and she's evil and I like her.
I want to be Hera from Star Wars Rebels because she's the shit.
I'm a bit of a Sith.
I love
Ayla
Hera.
Secura is actually my favorite Jedi though, and she is also Twilight. In case you guys didn't know that. The only Star Wars action figure I never took out of the box. I was like, nope.
You gotta keep it safe. Keep it safe.
Keep her safe. Keep her secret.
Protect her at all costs. Yes.
So thank you guys. We're gonna do more of that. So basically, the new things we're thinking of is gonna be on a weekday.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have trivia and question and answer things at the end. We want to make it really more engaged and involved. So we're gonna have people tweet us questions ahead of time, tweet responses to things. We really want to focus on making this something that we've prepared for. So if you're not following Rebel Base Pod on Twitter, please do so. Tell your friends to follow it. Please do a follow Friday for us. Anything you can do to help us build up that Twitter will help build up the show, and then we can do more and better things for you guys.
And over the course of the next week, I'm going to be revamping our Tumblr so that it looks more like a website. So, because I don't feel like paying and building a new website, so I'm just gonna do a Tumblr,
fair.
and then when it's really nice, I'll put it on a URL that's all ours and stuff. But Dad, you are a Facebook user, so you should just talk about us all over Facebook.
Just share a Twitter link on Facebook.
Yeah,
This
and
isn't difficult.
And Sarah's being very humble about it, but I want to be the best podcast on Twitch. I
Gonna
want to
be the very best, like no podcast was before.
on Twitch TV. Yeah, so
To be the best is my goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Rebel Base.
it's the best podcast.
We do it every other week.
Rebel Base. Oh, we're still the best. Yeah, we're the
You
best
watch us
podcast.
and we'll chat you.
Hey!
Rebel Base.
So we need to work on that. We had another theme song, but Nerdist decided to do a video with that.
So, as you know, Katrina wrote the lyrics to
It was so
Rebel
bad. I wanted
Base.
to cry.
And then we were gonna record it, but then Team Unicorn's sexy asses decided to make their own version. Well, actually, another guy wrote it, and Nerdist was like, well, we know Team Unicorn, and so they made a video. It was extremely sexy.
Really sexy. You should watch it.
So there's no point in us making that song.
My entire Anakin song is gone, so
Not important. They're
we'll do something else when another pop song.
We gotta be quicker.
Maybe I should do something with Taylor Swift's Blank Space on how Darth Vader enjoys killing children.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll work on that.
I'll always be your backup singer, and I'll do the snaps and hand claps and maybe a tambourine.
I don't know how it goes. I just know that tune.
I don't know a single Taylor Swift song, so I'll have to go listen to it.
It's one of the few songs, because I just saw the video, but I don't remember the song very well, but it's basically just like, all my ex-boyfriends think I'm crazy, and I am.
Oh, very close to your heart.
Kills the man.
Excellent. Actually, I'm on board. I will check this out. I will have to check this out then. So let us know, of course, tweet to us if you, I was saying part of the reason we want to build up the Twitter and the beforehand thing also is just in case we ever have another day where we get swamped with really negative comments, it means we can just turn the chat off for our viewing, and you guys can still talk amongst yourselves, do whatever, but we have your questions already, so we don't have to worry that we're missing really cool and interesting questions. Team Unicorn would hate it because they'd think we were copying them. So
It's okay, we can come up with more original things that aren't based off of a photo. It's okay.
We
It's
can do
okay.
it.
We can do this.
So I think we're ready to move on to our main topic.
Main topic!
Whoa.
All right, that was good.
We gotta work on. I feel like we used to have a song. Why do we forget everything we do?
We have to write it down. If it's not written down, I'm not gonna remember it. Like,
I'm sure we've made up songs multiple
auto-
times for all of our moments, and
I mean, we have the recordings.
you're right. We just go back.
Once I upload them to iTunes, which, by the way, iTunes this coming week, according to iTunes, everything should be up by Monday. So, yeah.
So check on Monday if you've missed any Rebel Base, or if you'd like to put it on your iPod or iPad, whatever you kids are using nowadays, to just show us support and to show iTunes that we get a lot of downloads. That would be great.
Mhm.
Send it to your parents. They don't know any better. But like, hey, hit this link.
Yeah, just click it.
Just click it.
Whatever.
Just click it. Just click it.
Aisha Tyler also has one of the
click
highest rated podcasts on iTunes.
So
So,
we want to defeat her.
and I want to be your bestie. So get us high up in the ranks so that I can be Aisha Tyler's best friend. Well, you can also be her best friend.
Of course, we'll
but-
both be your best friend, just like you're my best friend.
I'm not your only best friend.
It's true.
We're allowed to have. We're in a polygamous best friend relationship.
It's true. April is my best friend now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still your best friend though. Jared's not your best friend anymore.
Jared's not my best friend anymore. Fuck Jared. If you see Not Quite Frodo on Twitter, you say Sarah the Rebel said, fuck you, Jared. And that was the end of our friendship. That poster knows that I meant it. That poster was like, it's over. It's over, babe. So now you can see what we were trying to hide. My hideous vent.
So what we're trying to do again with the podcast is make it more professional. So we might get like a backdrop or something for the future. But
Nothing's actually wrong with Jared. I was being funny. But still tell him I said
everything
fuck
in the
him.
world is wrong with Jared.
Still
Be
tell
real.
him, tweet him, be
Let's
like,
be real.
Sarah the Rebel is saying fuck you right now. With a winky face. Put the winky face on it.
Main topic. Hey, main topic. So you should introduce it.
Why do I have to I'm just kidding.
Because.
So the interesting thing throughout the years, there's been a lot of geeky movies. This is not a new phenomenon. What is more new is the popularity of certain genres, right? So before, back in the 80s, we had fantasy movies. We had like versions of Conan, or we had sci-fi movies like Aliens. And now, comics have become really supreme, and book remakes and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So along the way, what we're...
That poster does not want this podcast to continue. Well, you know what, poster? You know what I think of you?
Oh shit, it's about to go down. Oh no, what's about to happen? Oh, that poster got.
That poster can no longer harm us.
We don't ever have to hear from you again. I'm gonna pet my kitty evilly while I say that.
All games, don't ask me that question. Don't ask me that question. That's a terrible question.
Big Hero 6.
Shut up, Sarah.
So
I would like to see a Star Wars trailer and then watch Big Hero 6 afterwards. I would like it to be at the beginning of Big Hero 6. Woman up.
Woman up. So essentially what we were thinking of talking about is the opportunities and the unopportunities, because I've decided to make that a word, for women to star and have interesting roles in geeky film, and how it has evolved or not evolved. So I think we're going to start with the Star Wars thing because you're so passionate about it, and let's start on a high.
There has been a new cast member whose name I just completely forgot, announced on Star Wars. Basically, there are a lot of cast members that we don't even know are part of the lineup yet. But it's this Singaporean actress, and she apparently got outed as a cast member of Star Wars by one of the producers. And then he went on to name a bunch of other cast members as well. But what I'm really happy about is just the overwhelming amount of women in Star Wars right now. Like, when you read the extended universe, there are girls everywhere. It's not weird for people who people of color or women or anything to be in the extended universe, but we didn't get a lot of that in the movies. Like, we got Mace Windu, and like Jango Fett was a person of color, and everybody else was an alien or painted or something like that. But We've got Maisie Richardson-Sellers, who's a new cast member. John Boyega is a black man leading the film. Daisy Ridley leads the film. Oscar Isaacs is supposed to round out the main trio. And then there are like 5 other women. There's Lupita Nyong'o. There's Gwendolyn Christie. There's Crystal Clark.
We've got Christina Chong.
Yes.
Billy Lord, who is Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yep.
Jessica Henwick. Why can't I read?
Oh, yeah, she's the new Singaporean actress who was announced. And then, of course, Carrie Fisher is coming back as the incredible Princess Leia, hopefully Queen now. But, yeah, it's
Empress?
just...
Excuse me?
Huh?
Anyway, continue.
Empress Leia.
It would be the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just put her up where she belongs, honestly, in the sky.
Lift me up where she belongs.
I've heard of, like, really great concept art this week involving Leia, so I'm really, really happy because it sounds like her and Han are married, and that's all I needed.
Right, because if they're not married, like, I understand.
There's gonna be problems.
You want to get rid of the extended universe, fine, but there's some things you do not fuck with.
You don't fuck with Han and Leia.
You don't fuck with that. That's my OTP for life. Like,
that's it, you know? Like, they're just perfect for each other, and, like, you can't make that whole relationship happen in the first 3 films and make it such a major focal point of their character development, and then just, like, they're not together. Right. So getting back to the non-shipping version of our podcast, there are a lot of women, and Daisy Ridley is signed on for all 3 movies. She is 100%, like, the main character of this film. Mm-hmm. Like, she is... I think she's going to be a Skywalker, and I've been saying it from day one, or a Skywalker solo, you know.
Right.
But I have a feeling that it's Daisy Ridley's job to take on that legacy that, like, Anakin started and Luke continued with, and, like, now she's going to be, like, that person to round out the light side of the Force, because Luke was always kind of, like, battling with his fear, not so much, like, his anger or anything, but Luke was always kind of, like, a worried and fearful person, in that he didn't want... His number one fear was falling to the dark side. It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be so fucking scared of it, because that's what...
Why are you even worried about it? What's
fearless anger, angrily saying it's suffering. But, yeah, I think Ridley is going to be, like, that one person who is like, this is the light side of the Force embodied. And having a Star Wars, like, led by a female character is, like, what I've wanted since Jaina Solo came about, since Anya Solo had that incredible comic, and her character sounds a whole freaking lot like Ridley's, because Anya Solo was a junker living on an outer rim planet, and guess what Daisy Ridley's character is? A junker living on an outer rim planet who randomly finds a lightsaber and happens to encounter a stormtrooper.
Hey, wait, that sounds exactly like Legacy.
Anya.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So I'm very interested in that because, I mean, timeline-wise, it would be a little... Maybe she would be, like, Han Solo's daughter or his granddaughter rather than great, but...
Right.
That's still,
really
like...
interesting.
I really think a lot of this was pulled from, like I said, the
various
creators...
places.
Yeah,
right.
The creators have a lot of... Basically, the expanded universe is not gone, it is just called Legends now. So... If you were in a cantina and listening to a drunk guy talk about Luke Skywalker and, like, all of his adventures, maybe some of that is real,
right.
Or maybe some of that is that drunk guy making shit up. Like, we don't know. So that's how you have to kind of take it. So because of that, a lot of the elements that you remembered from the expanded universe are going to be there. So with that said, we're going to have a female lead.
Right.
And it's going to be great.
So that's really exciting, you know, especially when we've had 6 movies that were all led by
dudes.
White dudes, yeah.
White dudes, one girl. That's it.
And so, you know, to look at the broader spectrum, we have movies that came out like Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers where we had the token woman who didn't really get to do that much. Like Black Widow's big moment in Avengers was dealing with Hulk. Yeah. Dealing with her fear of Hulk, not even really being cool.
Yeah.
And then she got a much better role in Captain America Winter Soldier. But still...
She was the star of that.
Right. It was her helping him find everything. But he was still technically the star because it was his movie, and she was really just a supporting, helpful character. We still don't have a Black Widow movie, mostly because they don't think that it could be interesting, obviously. You know, they've opted for the more powerful characters because we're not getting a Hawkeye movie either. So it's obvious they want the super hero characters to have movies. On the other hand, we have upcoming Captain Marvel coming out. So it's just interesting to see, will they be able to handle that? And the upcoming Wonder Woman coming out from DC. We've seen how they've treated female assistants in comic book movies, and they treat them like assistants. They're not supposed to be. Mm-hmm. The other female heroes and the other female characters are all in very much an assisting the male character role. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very curious to see what they actually pull out of their butts for Captain Marvel and for Wonder Woman. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so Captain Marvel is so far off that I can't say anything about it, but what I can say is that I think that in between Captain Marvel and Inhumans, we may see Kamala Khan, who's the new Miss Marvel. We may not see her as more than just an Easter egg or a post-credit scene, but because she is an Inhuman, I think we're going to see something with her. But as far as Wonder Woman goes, I am both completely terrified and also kind of really interested in it because the Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, it's got the movie has a director now, and she's worked on a whole bunch of stuff that I like and trust. Oh yeah, that was a piece of news that
we didn't talk about. So Wonder Woman got a female director.
Yes, I can't remember her name, and she worked on something that was just like, okay, I trust her with Wonder Woman, but she's worked on Breaking Bad, she's worked on Game of Thrones, she worked on a couple other series that were female run. So I think, and like there was this whole thing like, McLaren, and there's this whole thing where it was like, oh well, Wonder Woman doesn't need a female director, blah blah blah.
Fuck you.
It's like, fuck you, unless somebody who has written women so well that
Joss Whedon,
unless Joss Whedon is fucking on board for Wonder Woman, I don't trust you. Like, I need to see proof that you can write women well. And even when a female director was cast, when I first saw Game of Thrones, I was like, oh fuck. Like,
Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so I was like, oh fuck, but a lot of the things the episodes that she worked on were like female centric, and like basically, as horrible as it sounds like they brought her on to these like productions to write the women exclusively. Mm-hmm. So it's a good and bad thing because it's just like, wow, are you guys so disconnected from your reality that you can't write women by yourselves? Right. And then it's a good thing because it's like this chick has over and over and over again written strong women and written interesting women, written weak women, and she's been there. She's written Sansa and Daenerys and everyone from Breaking Bad and Carol from The Walking Dead and stuff like that. So she has this big pool of like experience with geek-centric female characters. So that is pretty much the only thing giving me hope for this movie, is just like at least somebody who probably knows Wonder Woman is writing it. Right. But by the time Wonder Woman comes out, Batman vs. Superman will have already been out.
So we already have an idea of what kind of Wonder Woman she is.
We'll have an idea, and if they don't completely sell her as an amazing character in Batman vs. Superman, her movie's in trouble. Right. And then, of course, it's going to go back to that, women
don't sell movies, which is completely wrong. You just sell us weak women.
Y'all never been to the 90s?
Like, right? I don't understand how this happened. We had
women can't run TV shows. Black people got... Okay, hold on a second.
Like, we had these extremely successful shows and movies featuring black people. Man, I watched Die Hard the other day. I was like, why is everyone in this movie black but the, like, 3 most important people? I was like, the 80s were fucking killing it. And the 90s were fucking killing it. And then
I can name you like a billion shows that I watched every single day that were just black or women-led. Clarissa Explains It All, Kenan and Kel, Cousin Skeeter, That's So Raven, Moesha, Sister. Right. Fucking, I could just fucking go on. Like, and it's normal.
I mean, would the Red Sonja come out nowadays? Mm-hmm. I would say no. They would not be brave enough to make the Red Sonja now. Which was arguably a B movie because it was written horribly, but it was fun as shit. It was just as good as the second Conan movie, which, you know, wasn't that great. But just like, these are movies that got people to the theaters and got people excited and interested.
Because they love the character.
And when you cast a pretty woman like Gal to be Wonder Woman, you immediately make me nervous because she's no Jamie Lee Curtis. She's no tough, strong-looking woman, and her roles that she's played aren't actually tough, strong women, in my opinion. I mean, I love her in Fast and Furious, but she is, like, her role is to be eye candy. Mm-hmm. She even seduces a guy to get a thing by wearing a bathing suit and looking, whatever, it's none of my business.
I mean, like, it sucks because it's like she's ex-military, she knows how to fight, she knows how to do all these physical things, but it's just like, I'm so worried about the way they're gonna make Wonder Woman, because if Wonder Woman, the thing about Wonder Woman is that she is inspiring to everyone. Even the people who hate her, like in Justice League War, one of the more recent animated films, there's this dude who is like, who straight up calls her a whore and says she dresses like a whore, and then she fucking whoops the lasso of truth around him and goes, why do you really hate me? And it's like, and he's all like, I dress up as Wonder Woman because I want to feel strong and I feel weak, and she's just like, stuff that makes me feel strong too. So it's, Wonder Woman has always been someone who, whether you're a little boy or a little girl, no matter who you are from whatever race, she's always been that person. She's the Carol Danvers of DC. She's always the one who takes people in and makes them feel strong, from like 40-year-old men to little black girls. She's always that person. And we don't have Carol Core for Wonder Woman. We don't, because DC doesn't want to continue to portray her that way, in a way that is so inspiring that she gets this massive bandwagon of fans that like petitions for her.
They're kind of wishy-washy with her. Everyone who gets her does something different with her.
And it sucks, because she rocks so much.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And usually they depower her, which is so weird.
She always loses her powers.
Everyone else gets super powered. And like has to go higher and higher and higher. Wonder Woman, they're always just like, what's it like just being a girl with no power? Like, no, bitch, we get that from everyone else. What's it like basically being as strong as Superman and being a woman? This is a way more interesting story. Why are you shying away from that?
Yep.
So that's, concerning about Wonder Woman simply based on casting. Now, you mentioned that for Captain Marvel, you don't even feel like you can talk about it because it's so far out. But what do you think about the people there that the community is suggesting to play her? I've seen Amelia Clark. I've seen
Amelia. I've seen that Stargate chick. I've seen Marjorie Tyrell. I've seen a lot of like prominent like geek culture actresses, and it's just like, that lady was blonde and she was in Battlestar Galactica, so she can be
Katie Sackhoff. Everyone's like, oh, that's what she be like. Guys, we can dye her hair. I agree with you though. I think she'd
make a lovely.
I think she'd make a great one, because she's already shown that she can be this tough as nails military kind. And we've already seen that she does that really well. She's strong. She has a strong geek following, but she's never headlined a movie.
Yeah.
And even the latest movie I've seen her in, Chronicles of Riddick, they relegated to her yet again. They brought on this strong, badass woman, and they relegated her to an unimportant role. And that's been my pet peeve since I was a child. Since I was 13 years old, I was like, you know why I like Xena? It's not just because there's swords. It's because this is the only show where there's a badass woman, and she is actually accomplishing things, and she's actually the person who kills the bad guy, or the person who resolves the issue, or ties up the person.
And I think that was like the biggest tragedy of the Thor movies was when I saw Natalie Portman, and she was a fucking scientist, and I knew outside of the movie that Natalie Portman graduated from Harvard, and she's a scientist, and she knows
like
this shit. She knows what she's talking about when she talks jargon, and it's just like, oh my god, this really badass scientist, because Thor doesn't know science. Thor's just dumb. And I was so excited for her, and then it was just like, love interest. She's suddenly even less interesting than her sidekick.
Right.
Like, Darcy was the shit.
Right.
I hope
Darcy
she gets
was
her TV
the
show.
most interesting part of that. And then in Thor 2, they really made her the damsel in distress.
Seriously.
Like, what was the purpose of
when
that?
her eyes went red, I thought they were going to make her the villain. I was finally like, oh, yes, finally, Natalie Portman can do a thing. Like, no.
They're just like, no, he's just got to rescue her, because,
And now they're going to, like, I don't know, rumors are that, like, they're breaking up or something.
They should, because Natalie Portman doesn't want to do it anymore.
No.
She didn't want to do Thor 2.
No, I wouldn't either, man. If I read that script, I'd be like, fuck you.
You know who else is, randomly off topic, but do you know who else doesn't want to be his character anymore? Why did his name just go out of my head? Oh my
Chris
god.
Evans?
No, well, we know about Chris Evans already.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Oh my God.
Chris Evans keeps going like, I'm not going to do it. I'll sign another one. I guess I'll do it again. That storm thing. What was that movie he had?
Wait, no, look, this is bothering me.
Sorry.
Pacific Rim and Thor. Oh my god, why is handsomest man in the fucking world?
Zach? No.
There's nobody named Zach who's handsome.
Oh, wait, the lead of Pacific Rim?
No, oh my god, why is his name? Guys, when you forget...
Idris Elba!
Thank you! I'm like, why am I forgetting Idris Elba's name? I couldn't even remember his character's name.
He doesn't want to be Heimdall anymore?
He's so mad he's Heimdall. He was like hanging up there getting sprayed with water, and he's like, last week I was Nelson Mandela, and now I'm this. He hates being him, and apparently Marvel really regrets casting him as that, because if they'd realized how popular everything would be, they would have saved him to be an actual, like, superhero.
Because he should
Chadwick
get
Boseman,
snatched.
why?
Yeah, and it sucks. Like, okay, so going back to that Captain Marvel thing and relating to this, I always want new faces.
Right.
Like, I wanted a new face for Black Panther. Like, Chadwick Boseman is a fantastic actor. He did great in his other movies, but he has played so many prominent black men in history. It's just like, there are other black people
That's why
out there.
It's so frustrating. Like, the fact that Halle Berry became Storm. It was because during that time period, there was no other black actress who was known among white people. And now it's Lupita would be everyone's pick to play Storm. I would still be fine with Lupita because she's actually African. But, like, it's this idea that there's only one at a time. White people can only know, like, one black actor at a time per gender. And it really just drives me crazy. There are so many other young black actors that are trying to get their start and trying to get their big hit, and they're constantly relegated to the sassy best friend and the thug on the corner. It's like, you have such a pool of talent. Why not bring something new and crazy to the scene? And no, we're just gonna keep doing this. And now we're stuck with Halle Berry as Storm for however many more movies.
Again, this is why I'm really excited about the amount of women of color in Star Wars, just because some of them have at least got to have a prominent role. Like, and if you look at all of the castings there are, outside of Daisy Ridley, and Billy Lord, Daisy Ridley, Billy Lord, and Carrie Fisher, every other woman in that movie is a person of color. And so that's why I'm just like, okay, this has got to be better than what I'm used to. There might even be 2 black women in prominent roles in this movie. Maybe, hopefully, God please.
Right.
We've already gotten promises from Rian Johnson that there are going to be female fighter pilots in the next movie.
Awesome, because why weren't there before?
I don't know. And see, I don't even know if there are going to be female fighter pilots in this. JJ might already have that going on. Like,
right.
But, you know, Rian Johnson completely was like, I got that, I'm done, that's written down on the list. Like,
right.
So, yay. But, yeah, it's so frustrating.
It is.
I was talking about this with a lot of other people, and it's just like, why do we only have one of each? Like, this is not Noah's Ark plus all the white people. Like, this is stupid.
And what about, Latinas get ignored a lot, because
All the time!
Latina
Unless they're
actresses...
opposite Will Smith.
Right. And a lot of times Latina actresses just get to be the person Will Smith can date so that he's not dating a black woman, which would make it a black-only movie, or dating a white woman, which would make people in the South really angry and not go see it. So, okay, he always gets a French or a French-Canadian or a mix or a Latina woman.
That's the one thing I liked about, what was that superhero, Hitchcock. Because it was just like, surprise, he was with a white woman.
Right, Hancock. It's like, oh, this blonde lady? Yeah, he was tapping that. Ooh, how do you feel about that?
You walked in this movie thinking that she was with Jason Bateman the whole time.
But it's that, and it's that often when they are in a role, they have to pretend they're not Spanish. They become a white woman. Or white women play roles that were traditionally Spanish, and no mention is made of the Spanish heritage. When it could be, because Spanish women actually come in all different colors. Like, why not still, if we're going to cast a white woman, why not still at least talk about her being from North Spain or from Puerto Rico or any of these places where Spanish people can go from blonde, blue-eyed all the way down to a black person.
Dude, Argentinian people are the blondest, blue-eyedest people in the whole wide world.
Right, so it's the fact that Spanish women are also very ignored and marginalized, and we never talk about them either, because it's just like, why is this even...
Lord knows, Spanish women in comic book movies, God, the closest we've gotten was Jessica Alba, who looked like she was painted even whiter.
Right, and they were like, here you go, put these in your eyes. And we're like, well,
like, why though?
Yeah. So, Jinx. So then my other hope for movies is that Gamora gets a role closer to her comic book role in the next Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, literally, they spoke... This is like one of those cognitive dissonance moments where I'm like, Catrina is a doctor. And in the entire movie, Catrina knows nothing about being a doctor and is never a doctor. It's like, I'm telling you, though. I'm telling you, Catrina's a doctor. This is important for you to know. So it's like, Gamora was... Oh, she's the most dangerous woman in the universe. Gamora spent the entire movie being like, we have to save the people.
That was the thing. I expected her to, like, come in. Like, that was also... I feel like I was the only person in the world who was bothered by how, like, she was introduced as a villain, and then 2 seconds into her villain introduction, she's just like, I'm gonna turn on him.
Right, and there was no explanation she given. There was no real backstory except, oh, I just feel bad now. But we talked about her having killed thousands and thousands of people. Can we address that? Can we deal with that? Can we?
She's like, I've just decided suddenly to turn, and
then
fuck you, sis.
The rest of the movie harping on it.
Mhm.
The entire time, that's all she does. And then her great moment of triumph is just defeating her sister.
Mhm.
Which, again, cliche, like what, because we couldn't have a guy beat up her sister while she handled, what's his name, with the, I mean, she could have done better than a damn dance battle.
I'm just
Peter
so
Quill.
sad about, yeah, like, oh man, this goes back to, like, Bleach. The reason I quit that comic was because in the pivotal moment where they were about to fight Aizen, Hinomori Momo was not involved. And, like, okay, so I don't know if you read Bleach, but basically,
watched it.
okay, so Aizen is, like, the big bad guy, and he used to be, like, the leader of his team, like, I think it was, like, 5 or whatever, or 4 or something. And Hinomori Momo, she was this, his squad, like, co-captain.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, she worked directly under him, and she was balls to the walls, head over
Balls to the
heels,
wall.
in love with that man, and he manipulated the living shit out of her. And I just, like, when he turned evil and everyone went after him, they were like, well, we're gonna put Momo in here because she went nuts. And it's just like, no, you unleashed the nuts on him.
Wait, can that be a quote, by the way? You unleashed the nuts on him.
And it's just like, what
Don't
the fuck?
put the nuts in a room.
Like, the thing about it is that Ichigo Kurosaki was not directly affected by Aizen's evils until, like, his girlfriend got hurt. Like, and so I was just mad because it's always these pivotal moments where it's like, this villain has directly hurt this woman character, but God forbid the main male, who is only slightly directly connected because he found out about this bad guy last week, goes and, like, kills him or something. Like,
Right.
not even fucking Momo's bestie, like, got to get that final blow for her. It's never something that was, like, because he was so deeply involved, and it's just like, I was so mad that Gamora never hit him.
Right.
I'm just so mad that
Right.
Gamora never hit him. She
That's
never
what
even got a hit.
Right, and that's what I'm saying has been frustrating me. This whole, like, for the last, how the fuck old am I? Like, what, 10 years? 12, 13 years that I have noticed this problem is women are never allowed to handle their own situations. Scorpion King. Badass black Amazon warriors. What they do? We're gonna dress as whores and we're gonna break in for you. We're gonna handle all these little guys for you. Why? Why do you keep doing this to me? You introduce a badass female warrior and then she has nothing to contribute.
Here's another anime moment that I got really mad at. Sakura was about to square punch Sasuke in the face, and she got stopped by that tree guy, and I was like, this is when I'm quitting Naruto, because it was like after the jump, and she like saw him, and the first thing that occurred to her was to punch that guy in the face.
Right.
And Sakura is known for her very hard punches, and she may not have survived it, but I would have liked to see her punch him in the face. And she didn't, and I'm very upset. And I'm just like, we need these moments of justice, like, even if it's, like, not the ultimate defeating strike and the whole team has to get together and do it like they did in Guardians of the Galaxy. I wanted Gamora to punch the fuck out of him.
Like, you kidnapped my sister and then you turned her into this murdering bitch. Fuck you.
Fuck you! Like, fuck you for all those genetic modifications and the hypnosis and all that horrible shit from all over. So, I get really emotional about this stuff because I'm really hell-bent on justice.
She is. She's all about the justice, about that justice. No injustice.
Injustice.
Unless it's Gods Among Us.
Apparently.
There's a comic joke.
I will answer justice with...
I will
answer injustice with justice.
Yes, correct.
Like Daenerys.
Like, I got it. So that's everything on our main topic. Please feel free to tweet us if you think there are any examples of movies with really great and interesting female characters, or your hopes and dreams for the upcoming movies, what you hope their characters are like, or your fears of what you think they might do with the character. So continue this conversation on Rebel-based pod throughout the week.
Yes.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll address them in the next episode, and we'll explain why at the end of this one. Mm-hmm. So now we're moving on to Chick Picks, and then right after Chick Picks, we're going to have a few minutes of Q&A because we are actually out of time. Mm-hmm. But normally in this Q&A is also where we're going to read, like, basically comments from, like, the last podcast that we did. We're also going to interact with, last week, apparently, so-and-so felt that we missed this really important moment about Lee Pace's character also sucking, and then we can briefly address it. So that's why it's important that you tweet us so we can talk about you and your questions, and we will actually give you shout-outs and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So my chick pick first chick pick for the week is Dragon Age Inquisition. It's amazing game. Once again, the kind of game where you're playing as a female and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do you guys remember that? Are you old enough? For The Rock telling you it doesn't matter. So that's my first pick.
My first pick is going to be the Star Wars trailer! If you haven't watched it, watch it again. If you have watched it 70 times, watch it 71 times. Really, just watch it, because that's all I'm going to be talking about this week on Twitter. So if you want to talk to me on Twitter, you've got to be talking about Star Wars, or else I'm going to ignore you.
Damn. That's real. My next chick pick is Geek Girl Brunch. I know none of you are ladies, but in case you have any geek lady friends or relatives, they are really upping Geek Girl Brunch. So to tell you what it is it's a group of girls get together and they have themed brunches once a month based on a geeky theme, and it's a chance for a bunch of girls who all like similar things to get together and hang out and form friendships, which is really important. You know, a lot of guys like to say, oh, where are the geek girls? I don't know who the geek girls are. Other geek girls have the same problem. We're like, oh my god, on Twitter, you're the most amazing girl ever. Like, why can't I meet a girl like you in real life? Like, this happened because of a job. We would have never met each other if not for Geek and Sundry, and same thing with us in April.
Yep.
So these
I would not have a place to live right now.
Right.
Thanks, Geek and Sundry. Also for the paychecks. Thank you.
That was me. That was all me. So it's important to have things like this for us to attend and to form female friendships and relationships. Yeah. So anyway, they are upping the ante, and they are now releasing chapters in a bunch of cities around the U.S. So look around Facebook and on Twitter and see if it turns out there's one coming to a city near you. Feel free to tweet them and ask if you consider yourself a lady, or for ladies that you may know. I know the LA chapter, I'm going to be an officer next year.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting, and hopefully I'll
give me an invite.
Of course, you're coming.
Let me say where to go.
So that's my second chick pick.
So my second chick pick, Sarah actually shouted this out, but since I was leaving as it was recording and the door shut, I feel like I'm obliged to mention the Please RT podcast, my roommate's podcast. They are very energetic women who have some really cool guests on, and they talk about pretty much anything that kind of comes up in their fancy, and like